Hello.
Hi, Rosabelle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just wondering, I know you've got a really busy day. You've got a lot of things on, but I'm just wondering if you could squeeze me in to your schedule for the podcast.
Well, you might have to book in a time with my management.
We're doing an episode about the Cheesecake Factory, and I'm wondering what you can tell me about the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay, so I think the only thing I know about the Cheesecake Factory is from like half listening to you talk about it.
Half listening, excuse me.
Well, I think most of the time I'm only half listening to you.
Fair.
Is it kind of like P.F. Chang's?
I think you're probably right. As in it's very big and it sells a lot of food.
Yeah, Cheesecake Factory. I mean, factory makes it sound like there's a lot of food, so yeah. So they started with cheesecake and then just made some other food because they got insecure or what?
That's what I am genuinely quite curious about. All I know is they have cheesecake, but also literally everything else as well.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to learning more.
Yeah, well, when you half listen to this episode, maybe you can learn something for once. I'm David Farrier, a New Zealander accidentally marooned in America, and I want to figure out what makes this country tick. Now, despite living here for about 4 years now, there are still lots of American activities I haven't done yet, and one in particular that stood out. I have never eaten at the Cheesecake Factory. All I really knew about the Cheesecake Factory is that they're very big restaurants, big menus, big portions. This led Men's Health magazine to calling the Cheesecake Factory the worst family restaurant in America, while a scientific study found out that one of their chicken dishes had more calories than a 12-piece bucket of fried chicken from KFC. With all that in mind, it was time to visit the Cheesecake Factory. So let out their belts and prepare to put on some pounds, because this is the Cheesecake Factory episode.
Flightless bird, touchdown in America. I'm a flightless bird, touchdown in America.
Rob.
Yeah, I don't know that when I think of Cheesecake Factory, that I necessarily go immediately to unhealthy food.
That's interesting. Right, what is like your first kind of thing that comes to the brain? Because I go big physical location and big, I think of like big, heavy portions.
Yeah.
And cheesecake.
I mean, this is going to sound bad. But growing up in the suburbs of Chicago, Cheesecake Factory was one of the like nicer places.
Nice as in beautiful decor and a location, or the food was like a beautiful meal that you'd take a date on.
I'd hate saying yes to both of those.
That's all right.
I don't have those feelings now, but
back
in
Chicago,
like high school, there was a Cheesecake Factory at the Woodfield Mall, and that was like one of the nicer places to go. Maybe it was more expensive too,
but it felt like a classy outing.
Yeah,
cool.
It wasn't like popping over to Sbarro for dinner, I love.
What is that?
I love Sbarro's too.
Is that what's that?
It's a pizza.
A Chicago pizza place.
No, it's a mall.
It's a chain.
It's a mall pizza place.
Okay, I'm intrigued already. You'll still say things and I'm like, what the hell is that? I think I've come so far, but I've got so far to go.
I don't know. So yeah, like Woodfield Mall, it's a really big mall in Schaumburg, Illinois. I think it's one of the biggest in the country, at least 20 years ago.
Okay.
Was one of the biggest in the country under a single roof.
I am a big mall enthusiast, by the way. This mall, was it flat and large, or was it a multi-leveled kind of a deal?
Multi-leveled, but also very large.
Oh, I love
I'm
this.
sure it's changed. I'm sure they've built bigger ones, and like Mall of America was off. I think they had weird like carrots next to like largest mall with like these stipulations that made it.
You mean like a decorative carrot, like a statue?
No, just like a stipulation on what made it the largest mall.
Okay, I see. Did you say carrot?
I did, or like an asterisk.
And I see what you mean.
To
Yeah,
the
I
stat.
understand. Yeah,
Or like
I got very confused for a second.
A footnote on it. Carrot's probably not the
Because in New Zealand we have giant vegetables everywhere,
Carrots.
like in every and including a giant carrot. It's like a thing. So I just imagine that in my mind.
But so like the restaurants there was the Olive Garden,
P.F. Chang's?
P.F. Chang's.
Okay.
There was Sbarro's.
Uh-huh.
There was Cheesecake Factory. There was a Texas
Okay.
de Brazil, which was like the nicest place at the mall because it was also like $75 a person.
Right. It's an expensive
It's a Brazilian
restaurant.
steakhouse.
Sounds delicious.
Do you not know about Texas de Brazil?
I've never heard of it. There's so many new things coming at me right now.
I had only gone there once. It
Yeah.
was like the rich people.
Yeah, it was
In the
like a
area would go
swanky dining experience. Big meat. You pay $70
Well,
for
no,
your big
so you
thing.
have a coaster on the table.
Uh-huh.
One side's red, one side's green.
Okay.
And you turn it over whether or not you want more meat
Oh,
served to you. And then they have like a giant salad bar that you can eat. But it's just like chefs coming
yeah.
coming with giant preparations of
incredible.
meat
Yeah.
that they're slicing off on your
In
plate.
front of you.
Yes, if you have your card turned the right way.
Incredible. This
Yeah.
sounds incredibly American.
But it was a Brazilian steakhouse, so
Yeah,
it's not
Brazil, but
it's the American
done in an
takeout.
American way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like meat now, more. Turn my thing over. Bring
Which-
it to me.
Though may be how the Brazilians do it. I don't know if that was.
We will find out in the episode about
Yeah,
that
people will
particular
let us
establishment.
know.
I feel like we're already opening up multiple other food episodes. Back to malls briefly, because I've wondered about this. Growing up in New Zealand, I'm so familiar with every like coming of age story or comedy. There's always kids hanging out in a mall and like they get up to mischief. Was mall life part of your upbringing at all? Was that a thing? You'd go and hang out at the mall?
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, there was also a Rainforest Cafe.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
okay, this is on the list because I still don't understand that place. And there's not many of them left. And I feel like we need to do an episode before they all like vanish.
Yeah, it's an
Because
experience.
P.F. Chang's, like they are harder to get to now. Like they're on the way out, I feel like.
I don't mind a P.F. Chang's.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay, so all the big American like names were in this mall.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that was
you grew up
like
in paradise. I love
that was a
this.
high school like place to hang out.
Yeah. So, okay, and what would you get up to? You'd like talk about like gossip and stuff and like go skateboarding and like have your Discman on and stuff. Backpack over one shoulder.
I don't remember doing it a whole lot.
Okay.
I did have a friend though. He was a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Mikey, and
Sounds
he
like trouble.
You would if you go to Woodfield with him, like because he grew up in Schaumburg too.
Mhm.
He would like go through with the dumpster entrance where the employees were, and like go the back hallways of the mall, and
this
then
is
just
baller
like,
as hell.
Yeah,
Well,
and
he'd
then,
just stroll in like he owned the place and no one like
no.
incredible.
So there were a few times I went with him where it was.
Mikey, king of the mall.
I'm not even sure the benefit of that.
Just kind of like you're behind the scenes, you know, like a fast track to like
And you
P.F.
just
Chang's.
Came out like a side door on the third level.
It's very, very funny. I really like that. That's something that appeals to me a lot. Okay, so we went to the Cheesecake Factory, and we're going to play our trip there shortly. There's a couple of bits of American news I keep forgetting to get to that I just want to raise because if I don't now, I'll forget. Since we did the Creed episode, Creed is everywhere. You send me Creed stuff all the time.
Unfortunately,
It seems to be much more of a thing now. There's an incredible video of someone singing 6 Feet from the Edge song in the Grand Canyon. And so it's just them. It's someone filming from like the edge of the Grand Canyon, someone across the other side. Or it's all done with AI and it's just made up. But it's booming across the Grand Canyon. It's incredible.
It's Scott singing.
I wish. No, just some guy.
Just a cover.
Just a lunatic. This other headline, which is very old now, but I think it's worth reading out the headline. Trump official who added journalists to war plan chat is related to Creed's lead singer. Basically, it turns out that Mike Waltz, security advisor, is the brother-in-law of Scott Stapp, which is
Coincidence? Probably not.
Probably not. One of the most American things I've ever heard of. It's just so good. And one other thing, it was a story that I got kind of obsessed with because I just couldn't believe what I was reading. Nothing to do with Cheesecake Factory in any way whatsoever. There was a police chief in Hudson County, which I believe is in New Jersey. And this was the headline. Hudson County Police Chief Robert Farley is being accused of assaulting and harassing his officers, so people he worked with and was in charge of, in a lengthy list of complaints that included defecating on floors, exposing himself, shaving his back, attempting to drug co-workers. This is a clincher. This is a police chief. And sticking a hypodermic needle into an officer's penis. I've got no more to say on it.
Yeah.
I just think that is a remarkable person to be in the police force. Okay. With all that said,
Do you think it was like down the pee hole?
I'm deeply curious. I feel it would have just been probably just directly into the shaft as some kind. He was like a practical joker, but he just got out of hand in a really just like, when I say out of hand, I mean like illegal shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he just sounded like the worst kid at school who was like doing the most annoying pranks. But he ended up being a cop and then a police chief. And the whole story is like a list of other things he'd done, and it just gets crazier and crazy. He spotted the coffee pot in the office with Viagra and Adderall and loved using racial slurs.
These are pretty great pranks.
Should I start doing some in the Flightless Bird office?
Hypodermic needles. I'm just curious as to how that prank plays out.
The headline also refers to the fact that he pooped on desks, and I find "pooped" is a very
Fun word for a news
fun
article.
word for a news article to use. So, August 2024, not long ago, Officer Darren said that things soured between him and the police chief.
Mhm.
And he said, quote, "Chief Farley chases me around his office." None of this is funny. After cornering me in the filing area with no further room for retreat, so he's in the corner, he's backed up. Officer Farley's hulking over him, back recently shaven as another practical joke on the floor. He sticks a hypodermic needle through my jeans into the tip of my penis. So basically, just
Just
got
like
the
stabbed
needle
him.
through, just jabbed it, basically. Stabbed. Yeah. Darren wrote in his complaint that the needle drew blood and that he was further humiliated when he had to explain the injury to his wife. Imagine if I went home, if I had this wife, I go home, I was like, fuck, I'm like, my dick hurt because Rob like chased me today and like jabbed a hypodermic needle through my like shorts into my penis, and I'm deeply embarrassed by this and I'm sorry. And then this is a quote that kind of sums it up, which is I think how I'd feel if you did this to me. "From this point on, the chief creates a hostile work environment," he wrote. It's pretty hostile. The chief would shave his body hair on people's property, their persons, and their food.
Ugh.
It's rough, man. He was also fond of scraping This is insane. And I don't quite understand the sentence. He was also fond of scraping fluids from his underwear onto people seated in his office. I think I've said enough.
Sweaty underwear, probably.
Sweaty underwear.
Yeah, that you're wringing out.
Again, police chief in New Jersey. And yeah, every day in America, there's like a new delight.
I mean, on a related note, let's
Yeah.
listen to us eating at Cheesecake Factory.
Really good. Really good throw. Table for two, please. David and Rob.
Alright, you just wait over in the lobby. We'll get you seated shortly, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is your first Cheesecake Factory experience?
This is it. I've walked past many of them. I have poked my nose in, but this is what I've always wanted.
It's very grand.
It is great. It feels like, like many of these chains in America, it feels like a theme park of sorts, right? Like nothing is real.
Yeah. They do a pretty good job. This is what the one in Chicago feels like, too, in the suburbs.
But yeah, generic, you walk in and it feels like you're home. It's like, this is the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
How many times have you dined at the Cheesecake Factory? You know, you've got kids, you've got a family.
In California, I've probably been about 3 times. For a long time, my birthday cake was a red velvet cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, okay, so this was kind of in your DNA. You, as an American, were kind of raised in here.
Yeah. The one I went to is at Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg that I went to all the time. But being in the suburbs, you're a little more handcuffed to chain food. So, but this was like the nice place if you wanted, if there's a special occasion.
I can hear party of two. That's us. It's happening. Hello.
I don't know if you know this, but the other thing about Cheesecake Factory that it's known for is they have a ridiculously massive menu. Like, I actually remember getting anxiety having to go through this entire menu and figure out what to eat.
Why? I've grabbed it, and it's thick and it's weighty. There are, how many pages are we talking here? They're numbered.
19 pages. I remember many times just going through this, not retaining what I'm reading, and just flipping through these pages. They have cheeseburger spring rolls, followed by mozzarella sticks, and then crab wontons. Yeah, they offer everything for food. I mean, I really just came here for the cheesecake.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
We're good. It's my first trip here, so I'm documenting it for old time's sake. I think I'm gonna get a root beer. Yeah.
I guess I'll do a root beer too, and a water.
2 root beers, 2 waters, and I'll bring some more of our bread and butter for you guys, okay?
I might go old school, and I used to order the factory nachos. Might do some nachos today. How much cheesecake do you anticipate on eating? Because we might want to plan our meal based on how much cheesecake we want to add to the mix.
Of course, because dessert is a big factor that's coming, and I imagine the slices here aren't tiny.
No, and it's a big factory.
Oh my god. What do we got here? We've got the root beer, we've got some delicious bread coming in. Oh. What is the most common, like what is your signature meal that most people would get if they're iconically wanting to dine at Cheesecake Factory, besides the cheesecake?
I would say the most popular dish that we have is our chicken Madeira dish. So it's going to be 2 lightly breaded chickens, and then it's going to get topped off with some cheese, asparagus, mushrooms, and then Madeira wine sauce that we make in-house, and a side of mashed potatoes with it. I would say that's our most popular dish. One of my personal favorites is the Parmesan herb crusted chicken. 2 chicken breasts come with like a Parmesan crust on top, baked pretty much, and then it also comes with mashed potatoes.
I guess we have to save space for the cheesecake at the end, right?
You do. We also just got a new one. It's our triple berry bliss as well. It's becoming very popular.
I think I'm going to get that insane thing that you mentioned at the beginning. What was that?
The chicken Madeira.
Chicken Madeira.
And then I'm gonna do the nachos. Can I do no sour cream?
No sour cream. That's an interesting move. You're not a sour cream man.
Not on nachos. I like my nachos pretty simple.
I like my nachos soggy with sour cream and meat and cheese. I want them like dribbling out of my hands. Stay tuned for more Flightless Bird. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Support for Flightless Bird comes from Symbiotica. Now, if there's anything I've learned so far this year, 2025, it's that small habits make a huge difference. Just getting up in the morning and doing some exercise has changed my outlook on the entire day, as has making my bed. I've also done away with some really bad habits, such as eating horribly sugary cereal every morning. That is out the door, and I feel a lot better for it. It's important to form good habits, and that's where Symbiotica comes in. They make choosing healthy habits easy, enjoyable, and something to look forward to. Plus, I don't know if you know this, but spring is here in America, and we've got an amazing deal from our friends at Symbiotica. There's no better time to hit refresh on your routines. I've been taking Symbiotica's liposomal glutathione every day in the morning, and it is delicious. It's a little pack. I open it. It's sweet and delicious. I suck it back, and I know that it's good for me. It's a consistent thing I can do every morning that I know is going to be great. It has nutrients that are wrapped in tiny protective bubbles to help your body absorb more and waste less. That means better results faster. Tastes really good. It's quick. It's really easy to travel with, and it promotes good gut health. Also, did you know that your body naturally produces glutathione, but your levels drop significantly as you age, especially after your 20s to 30s? I'm 42. Hello. Symbiotica's liposomal glutathione helps restore what time takes away, supporting cellular energy, defending against free radicals, and a bunch of other cool things. Replenish, protect, and glow from within one packet. With thousands of 5-star reviews, this product speaks for itself. It's the real deal. Symbiotica supplements never contain seed oils, preservatives, toxins, artificial additives, or natural flavors. No unclear ingredients or misleading labels. These are the cleanest, most effective products out there. Feel your absolute best going into spring with Symbiotica. Wellness made simple. Go to symbiotica.com/bird for 20% off your first order plus free shipping. That's symbiotica.com/bird for 20% off your order plus free shipping. Support for Flightless Bird comes from Quince. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but here in the US, spring is here, and that means it's time to maybe start thinking about some travel. As I record this, we are about to do some live Flightless Bird shows, which means I'm packing my suitcase, and I've realized it's time that I need a new first-class quality suitcase at an economy price. And I can get that from Quince. Because vacation season is nearly upon us, and this year I'm treating myself to the luxe upgrades I deserve with Quince's high-quality travel essentials at fair prices. I'm looking at their website now, and I can see a carry-on suitcase that I really, really want. Quince also has lightweight shirts and shorts from $30, pants for any occasion, and comfortable lounge sets. The best part, all Quince items, including the suitcases, are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the costs of the middleman and passes the savings on to you and me. They also work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. I love that. So yeah, as I said, I'm about to order one of their carry-on suitcases. They have a hard shell, which is really important because I travel with a bunch of podcast equipment. They have a TSA-approved lock. Yes, please. And of course, they've got 360-degree spinner wheels, so you can easily roll around that airport. And I'm going to get it in purple. For your next trip, treat yourself to the luxe upgrades you deserve from Quince. Go to quince.com/bird for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/bird to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/bird. How would you describe the decor of this place? Because it's very sort of elaborate, but also tacky, but also I don't know what it's trying to evoke at all.
They got some like Lord of the Rings, Sauron.
You're fucking right, it is. It's the Eye of Sauron right there.
It's like kind of Celtic as well, but then a lot of like blown glass fixtures and a lot of patterns.
Thank you so much. Oh God, these nachos, Rob, this is fucking insane.
Yeah, this is a very large plate of nachos, and your chicken, I don't even know. I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at. I'm seeing a lot of mushrooms. I don't think I've ever seen a piece of chicken that shape or size, I guess.
It's going to be amazing. I'm going to feel like death afterwards. I can fucking tell. I think it's sort of several bits fused together by cheese. Cheese and slop. And yeah, it's very flavorsome. I mean, it's a lot. I also love the only green in here. These like 4 lonely bits of asparagus that are fused into the cheese.
Are you the type that feels any codependency with the food, what you're leaving on your plate, and how, like, will you force yourself to eat more, especially if a waiter recommends an item for you?
Yeah, I feel incredibly guilty if I don't finish a thing. And I also just feel like I want to get my money's worth. And if I paid for a full meal, somehow not eating it is like I'm wasting my money as well, which feels bad. It feels bad. So I've eaten what feels like a third of this meal. I am full, and so I can't do anything about that. But yeah, I feel it's sort of insulting. And you know, I've said this before, but I've put on weight since I've been here in America, and it is just from bigger portions and my inbuilt pressure to finish.
I mean, this is also bigger portions, even within America, because I've maybe had a fourth of my nachos, and I'm full and do not want any more.
Also with I think both our meals, essentially it all tastes the same. Like most of this was like it's like a sea of the same. There's nothing changing. Every bite essentially tastes the same, and that gets too much.
Yeah, I agree. And both of them have just kind of melded to slop. at this point. Mine's just a puddle of cheese and soggy chips. And I can't even tell what's chicken and mashed potatoes anymore on your plate. And now we're about to have a bunch of cheesecake. Maybe we only do 2 pieces. We were talking about how many we needed to get, but I think 2 is probably enough.
So one of my personal favorite is gonna be the fresh banana cream cheesecake right here. One that's very popular is a classic Basque. So it's a crustless cheesecake with a burnt top. And it comes side with some berry sauce and the mixed berries. Another really popular one, I would say, is the Oreo Dream Extreme Cheesecake as well. And then another one that I really like is the fresh strawberry.
So the Dream Extreme Cheesecake is a great name. And it's got Oreos in it, which are very American.
Yeah, I mean, that's not normally my choice, but if I'm normally like pretty classic cheesecake, so all of the bells and whistles of most of these are not what I would go for. Yeah, I would either do the original or the red velvet if I was coming here. But you're a big candy sweet guy. You should definitely do the Oreo. We do the red velvet cheesecake, and then what?
And I'm going to get the Oreo Dream.
Got it. I'll get those started for you guys right away.
Thank you.
One more refill?
No, I've got to stop. These free refills here get me. It's just you end up drinking so much sugar.
This says 2,000 calories a day is used for general nutritional advice. I think my nachos were 2,600. I'm glad I only had like 5 of them.
Here we are. These are big.
The Oreo Dream Extreme, and then the Ultimate Red Velvet Cheesecake.
Thank you so much. You're wonderful. Rob, these are fucking big. There's something that I forgot about, and that is that this is rich. It's not just sweet, it's rich.
Yes, very, very, very rich. Do you guys have cheesecake in New Zealand?
We've got cheesecake. It's not a hugely popular dish. It's not common at all, and certainly not a factory that deals just in cheesecake.
My grandma used to make us cheesecake. Like very simple cheesecake. My grandma was not layering in red velvet cake and putting Oreo crumbles and frosting on hers.
I want to say for the record that my gran also made a really good simple cheesecake, and rest her soul. Monica, it was the best cheesecake in the world. It was so good, except for your grans, maybe.
Yeah, she made a really good cheesecake, and she made a really good cinnamon bread.
Oh, yum. Those are 2 really good dishes.
2 very,
my
grandma
God.
dishes, too.
What was your gran's first name?
We called her Grandma Lala.
Oh, so cute.
Loretta was her
Grandma
name.
Lala. Monica was my grandma.
What year was Grandma Monica born?
I have no idea. I couldn't do the maths on that. She was very old when she died.
Yeah, mine was born in 1912.
Oh my God. One of my biggest regrets about my gran and my grandpa on both sides was that I didn't quiz them enough about their lives. And I'm trying to remember this one with my parents. It's like you do this weird thing where you don't quiz them enough about like the really interesting part of their lives, which is the stuff you don't know when they're kids and stuff.
I did that this summer with my dad.
Oh, get out.
When we did that road trip from LA to Chicago and back, and he came with me and Calvin.
Yeah.
And me and Calvin kind of interviewed him throughout the trip and recorded it and like just asked him about growing up and what his dad was like that I'd never met. And
that's such a good idea. And how, for anyone actually wanting to do this, including like myself, any tips on how to do it? Because everyone's always like, do I sit down and make this a really official recording? Do I just like is it on my phone? Like, how did you do it?
I had an official recording. So like what you go out and
your little field recorder.
And I had some like general directions on which I wanted to spend kind of each day talking to him about. I didn't want it to just be like, okay, cool, let's have a 2-hour conversation about this.
No, you wanted to guide it to specific places to learn about specific things.
Let's talk about what your parents did before you were born and what you remember as a little kid, and then what high school was like, and then how you chose what you wanted to do for college. And
did it make you see your dad in a different way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also cool having Calvin chipping in with his no doubt like quite specific like You know, kids have such a remarkable way of thinking because they're not locked into all our weird adult shit.
Well, yeah, it was fun incorporating him, but he oftentimes would just fall asleep like 20 minutes into it and just got like bored and would ask the same questions of like, what were your favorite toys?
I kind of want to see him like doing that with like a big political guest or a celebrity. Just, you know,
Calvin
if they
interview.
don't like keep him interested, he's just going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
There was that Tim Robinson sketch where he was interviewing people and he'd just be
Get
on his phone,
Yeah.
just so painfully bored. And it reminds me a lot of that. Okay, Cheesecake Factory. My memories of that day are mainly feeling very taken out afterwards. I was exhausted. I could, you know, when you can feel your body like battling to like digest and absorb that's like stuff that you've just put in.
I think you were steered in the wrong direction on what you ordered.
I just remember the solid mass of chicken, potato, and cheese with these and mushroom all fused into what I would call sort of a blob or a glob.
You ordered a very heavy, I mean, not that the nachos were
Yeah, but
lighter.
nachos you could tiptoe around a little bit, you know? This was just...
I was very like non-committal. It was kind of like an appetizer that I ate very little of.
Yeah, no, I like your technique. I like your technique. And the cheesecake, my triple Oreo whatever, it was too much. It was sweet and rich and big, which, you know, I think usually was something I feel like if it's incredibly rich, make it a bit smaller, or if it's like incredibly sweet, again, make it smaller. Having big, rich, and sweet is a crazy combo to have. And I'm pretty greedy and I like my sugar and I still found it like too much.
That's very surprising to hear from you. But I will say I do love their cheesecake.
How was your red velvet?
So a couple days ago, last weekend, Calvin went to a birthday party at the movie theater next to the Cheesecake Factory we went to. And then after they went to the Cheesecake Factory and Natalie went to pick him up. And I was like, hey, will you bring some red velvet cheesecake while you're picking up Calvin? So
yeah.
I had it
Yeah.
a couple days ago again.
Solid.
Still, yeah, their cheesecake's great.
So
I
as a
stand by
red velvet lover, the Cheesecake Factory, it does a good one.
I mean, it's, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I was reading up on the Cheesecake Factory and I wanted to go through a few things I learned. The artwork and decor was incredibly striking in there.
And every single one looks exactly the same, which is, I mean, typical of a franchise. But
yeah, it's a comfort thing. And I will say this for the record, I think it's why I'm drawn to these like slightly horrific places like McDonald's and Starbucks. It's because when you walk in Dunkin', there is like a certain, no matter where you are in the country, you might be out on the road and feeling a little bit like you're missing home. You can walk into a place and it's like, this is just like my local. And there is something both awful about that kind of franchising of things, but also quite nice. And I've fallen into, I think, that cursed American thing of being like, there's an element of me that's like, yeah, the chain.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Cheesecake Factory is just so specific.
And it's,
And-
to be
and
clear,
odd.
it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like it's really deeply unusual. Like
You're
you're
kind
looking,
of in a forest.
yeah, and the Eye of Sauron was a good observation. There is that. So I read up on this a little bit. I'll see if this helps at all. So this is from their website, which is now archived. So this is from the Wayback Machine. It's not currently on their site.
Oh, it's like what the White House did.
Did the White House and their website changes incredible. So part of the Cheesecake Factory experience is enjoying our distinctive decor. So they know that it's out there. This is where we add our color and fun, from the Egyptian columns and hand-blown lighting fixtures to the dark cherry wood and brass accents. A common theme found throughout the Cheesecake Factory are our murals, and they're created by Mary Disduis. I'll be saying that incorrectly, but it's my best bet. A former manager who launched the trend at our Redondo Beach location in 88. So that's where the murals came from.
88, the year I was born.
Amazing. These distinct murals add panache. You don't hear panache very often.
Wait, the Cheesecake Factory's been around since 1988?
Yeah, it's been around for a very long time. So rewind from that. This is from thedailymeal.com. The key designer who did all the batshit stuff came on board in 1992. So that was 4 years after the Redondo Beach location opened. And he did all that as this site says, wacky as heck decor. So blame it all on Rick McCormick, who is a veteran designer. If your instinct is, what do any of these things have to do with cheesecake? The answer is absolutely nothing. It turns out they were just items their designer and the CEO thought were cool. So it's that simple. It's that simple.
I guess good on them.
McCormick himself admits the style might not sound good if you've never experienced it yourself. Telling the website, if I try to describe to you what it looks like, you'd probably think it was one of the most horrible looking places around. So he gets it.
We should try promoting our podcast like that to people out in the world. I'm like, this
Yeah,
idea sounds terrible.
It sounds terrible. If you listen,
You'll like it.
you'll like it. From the outside, it sounds awful. It's like two white guys talking to each other for ages. Awful. So this Daily Meal article goes on to say, no two Cheesecake Factory locations are exactly the same, but they all share a riot of influences from Egypt to Victorian England to areas in Central Europe. And according to an old interview that McCormick did, the Egyptian style was mainly because Overton always thought Egyptian stuff looked cool. And he was the CEO mentioned earlier. So that's why it looks like it is. They just thought it was cool.
Can you imagine that corporate meeting where they were talking about how to design this?
There's 20 people around the table.
And the CEO being like, I just think this Egyptian style looks really cool.
So it would have been a PowerPoint presentation.
Would have probably been mostly white people sitting in this room.
Yeah. He's like, Egypt, have you seen it? Look at this photo. It's amazing. Yeah. Europe, Victorian England. Let's do it all. It's very American. You're just like grabbing a bunch of other influences and like branding it as your own thing.
They don't do it in an offensive way, I don't think, either. Like
No.
It's offensive from a design aesthetic.
From an aesthetic point of view,
from a
it's
cultural,
nasty.
From a cultural standpoint, I don't think
Yeah.
offensive.
No, I think I felt comfortable and at home in there. And I saw many different people dining and they all seemed to be having a good time. I've also learned recently that they cut 13 items last month from their menu, but they've added 23 more.
Good.
So
we got to go back.
So you thought that menu was going to get down to 18 pages? It's probably up to about 21 now. I thought that was quite good.
They also have so many options of cheesecake.
Oh,
Like it's like 2 pages of cheesecake
It's
flavors.
insane. I'm sure there's some blogger out there that's gone through and had like one bite of every cheesecake, but we'll live our lives and we won't have all that cheesecake.
I mean, this sounds like a challenge, David. I think
that does sound like I've just laid it down right now.
I think you should make
No,
it.
I'm trying to keep my cholesterol under control. I can't give myself a challenge like that.
We should find out how many there are,
hmm
and just like one a week.
One a week.
You can have half a slice of cheesecake,
You can have the other half.
and you can try every single flavor.
It's not that much of a crazy idea.
If that's your dessert for the week, for the next year,
I wonder if by the end of that year, I would come to love cheesecake more, or if I would be like, I can't deal with any more of
I
this.
feel like it'd be moderate enough if it's like you're having 3 or 4 bites only.
Don't do the whole thing.
No, half might even be too much.
I think I got through about a third of my Oreo.
When I have a slice, even like last week,
hmm
I have like a third and then a third. It lasts
You
for a
pop
while.
it back in the fridge?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a birthday cake one year and it was really big and I put it in the freezer and I just like chip away at it during the year.
Do you let it thaw or you
No,
eat it frozen?
It's frozen.
All right.
Yeah, you can freeze a cake and it's still pretty good. Stay tuned for more Flightless Bird. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Support for Flightless Bird comes from Mint Mobile. Now, do you say data or data? Data? Data. Well, in my house, we say data. That's the New Zealand way. And for the longest time, I thought paying a fortune on my monthly data plan was just normal. That wasn't until I found out about Mint Mobile and their premium wireless plans that start at just $15 a month. My old provider, it was over $80 a month. I thought that was normal here in America. Turns out it's not. Mint Mobile plans start at just $15 a month. So say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans' jaw-dropping monthly bills because Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data, Data, your choice. And unlimited talk or text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for just $15 a month. No matter how you say it, don't overpay for it. Shop data plans at mintmobile.com/bird. That's mintmobile.com/bird. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5GB plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Okay, so some history of the Cheesecake Factory, just so we cover up all these facts. Oscar and Evelyn Overton. Their dream was to create a successful business. And it was in the late 1940s that she opened a small cheesecake shop in Detroit. That's where it all started. In order to raise her 2 small children, David and Renee, Evelyn chose to put off her dream and gave up the shop. She moved her baking to a kitchen in her basement and continued to supply cakes to several of the best local restaurants. In 1971, with the kids out of the house, and her husband, now in their early 50s, they decided to move their cheesecake business out of the basement into Los Angeles. And there in LA, they opened a 700 square foot store, the Cheesecake Factory. That's where it all started, 70s. And from there, it just got bigger and bigger, and they franchised, and now it's everywhere.
The idea of that original 700 square foot shop
is like amazing.
Yeah.
But that's enough.
Great. And then the dream of then like, let's make this bigger and bigger and bigger, and then franchise, and then quality probably starts to degrade. I like their cheesecake, but I bet those cheesecakes out of her basement would have been incredible.
Exquisite.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that drive. And I'm wondering how that is sort of encoded into your DNA, because I feel like, yeah, I'd be happy with that shop. It's like, oh my God, I run this thing. But here it's like expand, get more, get bigger. Is that sort of like, do you know where that?
I think that's a very American thing. I mean, we did it with this podcast.
I guess so.
Let's go on video. Let's go do live shows.
Let's go video. Let's do live shows.
Let's not be content with what it is.
The small thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because like my idea of like that feeling like a good idea is it's like wanting to, maybe it is that it's wanting to spread it, like get it to more people, get it to different audiences who shouldn't have it already. And that's maybe what it is like spreading Cheesecake Factory around.
Well, and it's ambition. It's just interesting how the mindset changes
completely
when it starts here. It even is just like wanting to go eat at that place.
Because I also think if I wasn't doing the show with you, like, you know this about me, like you've had to prod me to do things. Like when you talking about going on YouTube, I think my original response was like, oh,
YouTubers.
Kind of. I was just like shooting with the camera, like being visuals. It just seems so hard. Mm-hmm. And this whole time, and same with the live shows, like you're like, let's do live shows. My initial reaction was, this seems hard and scary. And you were like, no, it's fun and it can be better and more like different layers to what the show is. Mm-hmm. So that's your Americanness, like prodding my sort of
dragging your Kiwi
dragging
corpse
my
along.
Kiwi corpse along and like pushing me on stage. But I've appreciated it. Yeah. It's like I wouldn't do that shit without you. All right, maybe I'm slowly learning the American ways. Okay, what else did I learn? I came across this sort of horrible side dish of a story. New Jersey Cheesecake Factory workers OD'd. We're playing Russian roulette was the headline.
OD'd while playing Russian roulette?
No, so the Russian roulette was talking about how they were doing a lot of cocaine. And I just thought this was another very American thing because if you do cocaine in America, my understanding is big chance is laced with fentanyl. And that's how they overdosed. I don't mean to bring the tone down, but I just thought, what an American thing. These happy Cheesecake Factory workers
doing coke and eating cheesecake.
Doing coke, eating cheesecake, and then just fentanyl and everything at the moment, which is probably yet another topic we should dive into at some point. Another sort of awful story, but incredible headline that I related to and just how I felt after I'd eaten there. My heart literally exploded on a date at the Cheesecake Factory. Pretty good headline. This is from December 24. When Stephanie Anderson went on a dinner date with a potential new partner. I like how they phrase that. Who else are you going to go on a date with? She never expected that her heart would literally explode. And I should say this is from the Daily Mail, which isn't the classiest newspaper.
I feel like there's
There's an angle.
some clickbaitiness to this headline.
Just a little bit.
But we'll see where this
worked.
goes.
Some podcaster came across it and it's like, I'm going to read this. The 39-year-old met up with a man she was seeing at the Cheesecake Factory in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh, now she's seeing the man. It wasn't a potential.
Yeah, it's changed
suitor?
now. She's seeing him. When she began expecting intense pain in her jaw. She initially brushed it off, but as the pair waited on their cheesecake, the pain began spreading to her collarbone, growing worse by the minute. The mother of 3 was in agony when her date rang the emergency services for help. Paramedics arrived and discovered that the biggest artery from her heart had ruptured, causing the blood to stop pumping around her body. She was rushed to emergency open heart surgery. They removed the damaged blood vessel and replaced it with a synthetic tube. I would summarize this by saying it's the ultimate clickbait because it didn't really have anything to do with the fact she was eating like cheesecake.
No, it wasn't
It was
like the
purely
burger.
location, and someone thought we can turn this into a story.
Yep.
But I wanted to give a shout out to that headline because
It got your attention.
it got my attention and it did feel pretty intense eating there. I just wanted to follow that up with what I mentioned in the intro to this episode. Back in 2014, it was deemed the unhealthiest US eatery. A watchdog group called the Center for Science in the Public Interest has named the chain as the winner of the Extreme Eating Survey, noting that 3 of the country's 9 most calorie-heavy dishes are served at the Cheesecake Factory.
Wow. I do remember the Cheesecake Factory being one of the first places that I remember seeing the calories next to a meal.
I mean, should we give them credit for that? The fact they did it, they're not trying to hide it.
It might have been a legal thing.
You're told you must tell people what you're putting in.
Well, I think haven't they made that a requirement
it is a thing now, which is friggin' good.
Yeah.
The offenders included its bruleed French toast, which serves up almost 2,800 calories and 93 grams of saturated fat, which is not good fat. The other dish is its, I'm going to say this wrong, I'm not a foodie, farfalle, F-A-I-F-A-L-L-E.
Falafel?
No, different. Anyway, something with chicken and roasted garlic. Includes 2,400 calories, while a slice of Reese's peanut butter chocolate cheesecake has 1,500 calories. So yeah, some of the dishes there, not the healthiest. Although you can just do what you did and not eat all of it.
I'm surprised only one of the 3 was cheesecake.
Cheesecake is its healthiest meal,
Yeah, apparently.
Everything else there, not so much. And that concludes my Cheesecake Factory fact-finding mission. Any other takeaways from your dining experience? Anything else people should know about the Cheesecake Factory?
I think we covered.
I would say just like extensive menu. Started with cheesecake, expanded into everything else when they opened up in Los Angeles from that little basement store. And now, actually, I have one question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of talk about that mall and the different restaurants there. Where would Cheesecake Factory sit on I want to impress my date or give my family a really good time when you've got a P.F. Chang's, a Cheesecake Factory, those other places you listed?
At that time, I would say P.F. Chang's and Cheesecake Factory would be towards the top.
Okay, cool.
And then Texas de Brazil would have been like the number 1.
Well, I had a really nice time there with you. Our server was lovely. They seated us quickly and efficiently. It was very busy in there. And I will say their bathrooms, much like the restaurant, they were big in there. I walked in there and it's like expansive.
Yeah, you
in there.
didn't have to wait for a stall.
Didn't have to wait for a stall.
Are you thinking you'll go back anytime soon?
I'm going to consider your pitch of eating one of every cheesecake. I'm also thinking I'm going to go and see a movie at that mall again soon. And I think I probably, if I get there early, I wouldn't say no to having dinner there beforehand.
Oh,
I liked it, but not the meal I had. I would try something else.
if there was one really close to us, I feel like that challenge would be a little more attainable. It's
A little easier.
just that it's hard to get to that
The
one.
admin's a mission.
Yeah.
It's not an easy. It's in this big mall. Parking's horrible.
So if someone wants to bring David cheesecake to
Yeah. Flightlessbirdchat@gmail.com if you want to deliver me
drop
one
off a piece
cheesecake.
once a week.
A deranged fan of the podcast. Okay, while we're on a food theme before we get into feedback. We talked about
No, I saw that
Vegemite.
hiding back there.
We talked a lot about Vegemite and Marmite. I got this when I was given this in Australia, and I thought you should try some. So I've got a spoon.
Do they not have it here?
They do, but it's hard to get. And it was a gift, so people know that I love this stuff.
Mhm. So
And
you just
it
get-
was like
it gets thrown
they
at you.
knew I would love it. There are certain stores, like it's sort of, I feel like I've seen it once at the Grove, which is this like fancy mall, like the fanciest food store had it in their international food section. You can probably get it on fucking Amazon or
Amazon,
something, you
yeah.
know. But this was given with love.
Okay.
I'm giving it to you with love. So what I've done, I've got a spoon. You can raw dog it and just have a spoonful. Or I stopped by, because you're American, I thought just sort of, you know, make things a bit more palatable. I bought a Dunkin' Donut, and I thought you could also rub some on the top of a Dunkin' Donut.
Is this sweet? I thought it was
It's not
savory.
sweet. It's savory.
Oh,
But sweet and savory.
what
That's
kind of a,
it's a beautiful
okay,
fusion.
What kind of a donut did you get?
So I got you 2 options of donuts.
Oh, you got me. Okay.
Got you a spoon.
David.
And I would suggest just getting a spoonful and sort of rubbing a bit on.
This on a cinnamon sugar donut, is this going to taste weird?
I've never tried it.
Because
Have
I bet
it-
on a sprinkled frosting donut, I don't, a
have a-
savory paste.
Have a sniff of
Yeah, I don't know.
Vegemite and see what you think. Just have a sniff of it.
All right. It's kind of like, it's a little fudgy smelling.
Okay.
Like molasses.
So I would typically in the morning have a bit of toast, a layer of butter, and then I spread the Vegemite pretty evenly, but it's okay if it's a bit chunky. And that is how David Farrier starts his day.
Yeah, I can see there's, and you're one of those people that
I tunnel.
doesn't clean his,
Oh, look, just don't get in. Look, we
Clean-
don't need to get into
doesn't
my.
clean his spoon or knife before
Look,
dipping in another
This isn't
jar.
about how I tunnel in and don't clean my knife. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go. I'm not taking that much. Is that enough?
That's good.
It's good.
Some would say too much.
Salty.
Yeah, super salty tasting. Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's
very
okay.
strong.
You're not.
Yeah.
That seems okay for you.
That's not great.
Would you spread it on a bit of toast? Or
I
a
would
donut?
not have a spoonful of that ever again.
To be fair, that's not how it should be eaten. It should be on
No.
toast.
It's not awful.
Okay. Vegemite. It's not awful. Well, you're more Kiwi / Australian now, and I'm proud of you. And you're just going to have a little bit of water there to wash that down. I'm proud of you, Rob.
It's very potent.
It's
Like
potent.
it's a very strong flavor.
Yeah,
That was too much.
it was too much. And to be clear,
And I thought it was not enough.
no, it was way too much. No, it's sort of like you generally would give a very light spread on a bit of toast because it is such a strong flavor. So
Yeah.
you legitimately, Rob, you did really well just then, but I wasn't going to hold you back. And I think you're being very polite about it all. Okay. A bit of feedback. Aquino wrote in. I mentioned, I can't remember on what episode, about the embarrassment of going to a supermarket to buy toilet paper.
That was the blimp episode because
That's right. The
people knew what
embarrassment
you were going to
of-
do with it.
I was embarrassed about buying Vaseline and toilet paper only.
No, you bought Vaseline to make it not embarrassing.
Okay. My anxiety agrees with you, David, and I'll admit I laughed at the idea of you getting nervous about your toilet paper purchase. After listening to the episode, I witnessed a man leaving a convenience store holding nothing but one singular roll of toilet paper, and that was it. I was shocked. I think that's much worse than buying a pack of toilet paper. It's just buying that singular roll. David, I hope that one day you and I will feel half as confident as that glorious man leaving the convenience store holding one roll of toilet paper.
Me too. I hope that for both of you.
Respect. Sam said the subject line, "Thank you for solving a 20-year mystery for me." So, of course, that's a great subject line. I read on. Due to life being life, I was about 18 months behind on Flightless Bird episodes. I marathoned them through last month. It was a fun journey. Enjoyed hearing Rob more. Shouldn't have read that bit out. Your ego is just going to go through the roof. While catching up, I heard a lot of your ads for sweaters, specifically David mentioning that New Zealand calls them jerseys. And last week, Inner City Pressure by Flight of the Conchords came up on my playlist, and a line that's always confused me immediately made sense. Your favorite jersey is covered in lint. I never understood how a jersey could become covered in lint because in America, jerseys are athletic wear like sports uniforms. They aren't generally a material that collects lint. I love how specific this feedback is. If there was lint, you could just shake it off. But sweaters, I now finally understand. So I'm really pleased that a Flight of the Conchords song from a very long time ago.
That's wild that show was 20 years ago, too.
It is, right?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Or were they putting
it's
out
really,
music
no, it's really
before?
old. Flight of the Conchords, I'm going to see when it premiered. Because Reese talked about it on that that Restart
It's
episode.
like 2005. I guess it's about right.
I mean, it came out, I feel like, 98. Oh, no, that's the band. Let's see the TV show. I love it how when you Google now, the first page is basically just ads.
Yeah. And like the bullshit Google AI stuff that is
Often
more and more wrong.
quite
I think.
wrong.
Yeah.
Kids will be doing school projects, doing that shit, and just learning bullshit about the world.
I was searching if someone was in a movie or not because it wasn't on the IMDb. And it like made up in the AI that this person was in the movie.
Basically, yeah, it's just hallucinating bullshit. Not that smart, AI. June 2007 is when Flight of the Conchords premiered. So almost 20 years ago.
It was the music they were listening to. They were just a fan of the band. So
Yeah.
if that was 98.
Yeah, 98 for the band. And they would just play in like tiny clubs. There would be, I never witnessed it, but you'd have Taika Waititi in there with them and Brett and Jermaine, and they'd be playing to like 30 people. And look at them now. It's crazy. I like the suggestion that Kate sent in. She said, have you ever heard of Midwestern salads? Have you heard of Midwestern salads?
I mean, probably. I don't know what the distinct.
This kind of blew my mind. So she grew up in Kansas. She writes, I thought they were a normal part of everyday life until I moved to New York City where my friends shamed me. Basically, any mixture of ingredients with a base of whipped cream, Jell-O, or mayo, aka Miracle Whip if you're a monster, qualifies as a salad in the Midwest.
I've heard. Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Potato salad and pasta salad are probably the most ubiquitous across the US, but there are much better salads out there. My personal favorite being frog eye salad. And I'm going to save that for an episode I eventually do
Frog-eyed salads.
about that salad. And my favorite bit of feedback that came in to flightlessbirdchat@gmail.com was from Mike. Hey, David and Rob. I love the show. Great that Rob gets a chance to get a more active role on the show, to which I agree. He goes on to say, I love the word fuck. No other word can be used so effectively in so many different ways. That being said, in the hands of the wrong person, it can go awry. David, you are that wrong person. Listening to you saying fuck is rough. Don't force it. Let it happen naturally, and it won't be so awkward and cringy.
You're really getting called out for being like a nerdy, awkward kid.
I think so. Yeah. I replied to Mike saying, terrible fucking feedback, David. He hasn't replied. If you have any feedback, any input about Cheesecake Factory, we are always flightlessbirdchat@gmail.com.
I'm sure we missed something vital.
We always do.
Yeah.
Rob was saying before, our listeners are kind of intimidating because the feedback is always super smart and things that we hadn't even thought of.
Yeah, that seems smarter than smarter than the episode that we've put together.
Yeah, which is amazing. And it's
Yeah.
like the dream, but it is also incredibly intimidating. Have a wonderful week.
You too.
And we'll see you next week.